guys, today I want to start with my succulent projects. I'm going to be repotting some of the plants, propagating and cleaning up from debris. And as I go, I'm going to share some tips. This is actually a non-succulent plant, but I'm going to start with this one. I bought it exactly a year ago with just about 4 leaves, and as you can see, it's beautiful, has grown so much. And my mom moved it from the little pot that it had into this pot, which I like this pot because it's yellow with some speckles of black, as you can see close up, but I am pretty sure that this plant is root bound in it, so I'm gonna pull it out carefully. I have a paper underneath here that I'm gonna be working with so I don't make mess. I'm on the floor in my apartment. Here it is, guys. Look at the roots, guys. There's hardly any soil on the bottom. So I have got a next size pot here. So I'm gonna place it in that one. I'm just gonna have to add some soil, and I don't know why I didn't bring that right away, so I'm gonna just go quickly and bring it here. Alright guys, I'm gonna place a little bit of soil on the bottom so that there is some space between the roots and the end of the bottom of the pot, like that. And then I'm gonna add this plant. Now there is about an inch all around the plant that needs to be filled up. And this soil that I bought doesn't have mixed in perlite, but I'm not worried about because this is not a succulent plant, so I think it's gonna be fine. This one is really beautiful. I actually have started enjoying here in Serbia a lot of tropical plants that has really been giving me joy. So I don't know, maybe I'm gonna decrease some of my succulent collection and add some more of the tropical plants. So it's done, guys. Look at how pretty it is. I'm so excited about it. All right. Next project is this big Euphorbia virensis. This, guys, has been on a windowsill. It's becoming pokey. It's hard to put any plants by it. As you can see, look at how big it is. It cannot stay. And then some of the branches, almost all branches are okay, but some branches that got bended, this is the sign that you don't have enough light. When the tips become pale yellow and they become skinny. Only this one has that. The rest of them succeeded to get light. And look at this, it's catching my blouse. So, because I still like this plant, I would like to remove a few branches and then just give away the rest, which I think it's gonna be quite a challenge. So we'll see how that's gonna work. And I don't have gloves or anything, so I could use some rag maybe to place around it to pull it out of the pot. So I think I'm gonna go get that. So I got some rag that I had here in the apartment, and I'm gonna try to protect my fingers a little bit from the needles as I'm pulling this out. So I just kind of placed the pot sideways and just gently pushed toward the front, and it came out really easy. So I would just like to remove some of these shorter ones, if it's possible to remove them from the main plant, like separate the roots. Here I separated, I think, 3 so far. I'm gonna separate a few more. Here is another nice piece. Look at the roots, guys. So I'm going pretty carefully because, yeah, I didn't want to damage the plant. Place with this one back in a pot. And that one is going to be given away. This is the new pot. I'm going to just have to take some soil out. You know, you have to be careful when you're doing work like this because Euphorbias do have sap, white sap. When you cut or poke them, and it can be toxic for your skin. I have never had problems. My pets are around me. I don't think they have ever got in contact with it. So never problems so far, and I have had succulents for years, like over 4 years. So, but still be careful because everybody reacts differently. So work with gloves maybe, or wash your hands right away. That's pretty much what I do. And I wash the plant as well if there is any white sap on it, so it doesn't really look nice when they are poked and have white sap on it. This plant will definitely need cleaning, but I'll show you how it looks before cleaning and then after. I just want to make them all stand. So here it is, guys. As you can see, there is dirt on them. There is a little bit of white sap here and there, so I'm just gonna go clean it up. And this is what I'm gonna leave on the shelf because that's what can fit, you know? There is not enough space. And because the soil was a little bit wet, you can see I'm pretty dirty, so I'm gonna try to get up without touching anything and go wash my hands first. So next project is fixing this Crassula hybrid. It's a bit stretched, has some dried up branches. I think definitely I'm gonna take cuttings, cut it up and reset it in a new pot. So I have a pot ready here and just gonna start cutting branches. Here is actually one little white root that you can see that started growing on its own above the brown branch. So what I'm gonna do is just cut these leaves that are around the root, and I'm gonna place that in a dry soil. And they're still a bit etiolated, but it's gonna be better than it is right now. So I'm kind of cutting any leaves that have blemishes on the bottom, and I usually start the cutting from the area that is completely healthy. Here it is, guys. I think it looks much better. Now I really have to do surgery on these two. As you can see, super wrinkly. They are separated from the roots. They're not getting water anymore. So just kind of cleaning up this bottom, any debris that's all dead here, and you see the rot, and trying to root if there is anything to save here. I'm gonna see if I cut this, if it has anything. Yeah, this is green here, so this is healthy. So this is what's left, and it's very wrinkly. So this guy is gonna have to use less strength it has to root. So I hope it's gonna make it, but this is it. It's not gonna survive otherwise. I mean, it's gonna just completely dry up. So I'm just doing this complete cutting up surgery to the healthy. When you come to the healthy part of the stem, it's gonna be green. It's not gonna be brown like this. And then I'm gonna let it callus, or you can just put it directly if it's a dry soil. And let's hope these two guys will make it. I don't think the pot has anything in there, but I pulled out all the roots, but the pot has a soil that has been a little wet, and so I don't want to put it in wet soil. I'm gonna have a different pot for these two cuttings. My beautiful Crassula jade necklace is just so cute. Look at all these wiggly worms. It really needs to be cut up a little bit because these branches are too long, and when it's on the shelf, they're just not getting light anymore. So I'm planning to root these while I'm here, and I'm gonna chop it significantly. I'll give it a good haircut here. So I'm just gonna be going around and cutting whatever tall branches I have here, because I'm expecting them to grow even more during their growth season, which now it's gonna start. They're summer dormant, so they haven't been doing much during the summer, but now in fall and then in early spring they're gonna be growing quite a bit. And what I love when I cut these branches is that they always double branch wherever you cut, so it's really fun to create a different shape on this plant. All right, looks much better, guys. I think it still has some long branches. I'm thinking these here are a little bit sticking out. So, and these are really nice branches. They're gonna root well because they have a pretty compact look. So look at how pretty these are. I think it's now trimmed quite good. Look at, guys, all the cuttings that I have. I have a lot of cuttings. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, there is at least 25 cuttings here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm cleaning up the cuttings. I'm cleaning the bottom 2 sets of leaves so I can clear up the little branch on the bottom so it can root. I'm also checking if the cutting is curved too long, and then sometimes you can actually cut them in half and they can all both root. So this piece will root and double branch, and then you can root this one as well. I noticed that the top is a little bit stretched and dehydrated, so I'm gonna discard that, but the bottom I'm gonna clean up the stem and I'm gonna leave this piece to root. This one is a bit dehydrated, so I don't like how it looks. I'm just gonna discard this piece. So I have plenty of them, so I really want the pot to look well. So here are the 2 pots after I place the cuttings. This is cuttings of Jade's necklace. Looks really cute. And here are these pitifully looking Chrysalis deceptors trying to fight for their life. Hope they root in the next 10 days or so. All right, off to a next project. First I'm gonna clean this paper up. So time to take care of this pretty goose plant. As you can see, very laggy. It's gonna just keep breaking leaves if it stays like this. So I'm gonna be cutting so it has at least an inch of stem without leaves. And since it is stretched a bit, I think I'm gonna remove another extra leaf here, and then I'm gonna be placing it in a soil. I actually probably gonna take the cuttings first, and then I'm gonna place it in a soil because I wanna create some nice formation in the pot. So here it is, again leaving like about an inch. I think I'm gonna have more than it's needed for 1 pot, so maybe I'm gonna make 2 pots of this because my sister-in-law is gonna probably want some. And really, these plants are so hard to kill, and they're like so cute. I love ghost plant, I really do. And can have such a difference in shape and colors depending on the amount of sunlight it gets. So this method that I'm using right now is beheading, called beheading, where you remove the top rosette. You can do this with echeverias or grab the petalums and sedums, and then you root the top. If you leave these stems and you don't mind the look of this pot, they will grow new rosettes. I may not do that. You can also use all these leaves that I have taken off the stems, and I might leave some of them because they're gonna each grow a rosette. So I have a little guy, I think this was a leaf, and it rooted itself and created a little ghost plant. So I'm gonna keep that one as it is. I'm not gonna cut it. there is another one like that. Just has a little bit curved stems that I'm gonna trim a little bit. So there is still some roots left here. Let's see if we have anything else. Not really. It's pretty bare what's left. So let's see how we're gonna do this. Also try not to touch leaves of the rosettes you are placing too much because they do have a film on top. So alright, it's pretty full pot. I don't think I have to have another pot. I can for the leaves, but this looks so much better, guys. I hope you can see, actually they have all a little bit of pink. I don't know if you can see from here. I think this looks much better. So I'm gonna every few days stimulate it maybe with a spoon of water, and hopefully this one will root before I leave. My experience with these is that they root pretty fast. Look at this little guy that was left on one stem. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one. Maybe I'm gonna just cut it off and try to root that one too so it doesn't die. Maybe tuck it in here, right here. And this, unfortunately, I'm not gonna keep, and I don't have a lot of space in the shelves. You could use this and grow more plants. Maybe I'm gonna just leave few of the really big healthy leaves like here in the pot, somewhere. Just knocked off one other leaf. So, but that's pretty much it. When I was showing you my collection a few days ago, this is one pot that had a lot of dried up branches. Now, if the problem with this pot was that it wasn't getting enough water, leaving the plant in a bigger pot would probably be better, because when it is watered, the water will stay longer in that soil. If you have small pots, they dry up faster. So there is a tip for you. You know, if you're worried about overwatering, keep the plant in a smaller pot, or keep the plant root bound, and it's gonna have a very low chance of having root rot. All of these other branches are drying from the top, like this one here, you see? So that would be a sign of underwatering. But sometimes you can also have these dried up branches when the root rot happened. So at some point the plant was overwatered a lot, they had the root rot, and then because the plant couldn't absorb the water, it started drying up. I don't know which one was the case. I can definitely clean up all this debris from the top and then examine, actually take the plant from the pot and examine the soil and maybe figure out if I'm gonna put it in a smaller pot or I'm gonna keep it in the same one. There is a lot of dead pieces, and sometimes, since you don't want to lose the whole branch, what I do is I just cut off the tips that are dried up. I have done that before with the Paleus. So let's see what happened here. This trailing part is absolutely healthy, no, but then there is also some black here. Look at this. So I don't know what really happened with this plant. It has roots all the way to the bottom, so yeah, I don't know. Honestly not quite sure what happened here. I think I'm gonna maybe place it in a little bit smaller pot, because these roots, a lot of the roots was disconnected from the plant because it kind of split in half. So I don't think it needs that big of a pot, and I'm gonna just clean it up from branches that don't look good. I think I cleaned it up pretty good. So this is the healthy part that doesn't have any black spots or dead branches, and I'm gonna find a smaller pot and place it in there. Well, this is the part that fell off, but it's a beautiful healthy cutting, so I'm gonna place that in a new pot to root. So here is this Stapelia after I reset it. This is the cutting that fell off that doesn't have roots, and these are just the cleanup parts of the plant that have roots. And here are some tops that I had to, trim a little bit so they don't have ugly dry ends. But overall, looks really good now. Thank you guys for watching. Plants are cleaned up. I have actually decreased quite a bit the number of plants here. I'm going to show you how both window sills look like now. So, and then see you soon in the next video. Here is my Euphorbia baiensis. The little cuttings that are rooting. And then on the other window sill, my beautiful syngonium in its new home.